If Rin Itoshi is the reason they lose this game, my respect for him will go through the moon. What's up, guys? They go with a pencil here from Fat to into have it on and keep it on at all times. Another fun fact here. You know what? Me. We know what time it is. It's peak lock time. It's peak every week. And I must say, I'm excited. I'm intrigued. I need them to lose, though. I need them to lose. And to be fair, they can definitely lose. Hear me? They can definitely lose by either just whiffing or somehow this is like a crazy reverse play and they get absolutely viciously stomped even worse. But regardless, I'm intrigued. I'm excited. So let's not waste any more time. Let's hop right into chapter 347. I don't know the title, but I literally see it on the next page. But what I see the 347 on the next page. I don't actually see the title, but let's see. Rin Itoshi. And you know what though? I've talked about it many a time before. I'm not the mightiest Rin rider out there. The Itoshi investor in me on either of the brothers. I'm not gonna sit here and say either of the brothers are bad characters or characters that will have no impact on the narrative, or they're irrelevant, they're dumb, they're stupid, they're fodder. I'm not the sharpest spoon in the kitchen shed, but even I can readily admit when the two characters are well written and well integrated and very fundamental to the nature of the story. But ultimately, I've just never necessarily been the biggest fan of Rin. He's a very, very popular character, and you could definitely blame like the hipster in me that will occasionally manifest when something's very, very popular, which is hilarious because I'm also easily folding for many, many popular things. Like, yeah, I really like Greninja. Yeah, I really like Lucario. I even like Charizard. Not as much as many people like Charizard, but I don't hate on Charizard just because he's popular. But Rin is one of those rare cases where like the pure hipster in me comes out. But in terms of Brain, what were we going for there? Aesthetic? Yeah, I think so. In terms of his aesthetic design, I will readily say that Rin is like really, really, really well juxtaposed to Isagi here, where you get to see him entirely steeped in the black from his black sclera to the black hair. Notably, I feel like if his aura was showing more in this panel, this could work as well, but at the same time, I understand you don't want to clutter the panel too much. You want to keep the action lines here, but he's soaked in black, if you will. Meanwhile, Isagi is steeped in white, and you have this parallel as we see the two swing at the same time. This is gonna be... I'm gonna say it's gonna be interesting regardless. I assume they're gonna miss, right? I don't think Renoir's blocking it, but I'm assuming they're going to miss. I forget how the goal or how the dual goal between Kaiser and Isagi was supposed to go. But I think that also just whiffed. Did it whiff or did it sidebar? I don't remember. I feel like it just whiffed. I think they literally overshot it. Because Kaiser had the fastest swing speed, but Isagi still made contact with the ball. And funnily enough, like, unlike a Rin and Isagi dual shot, where you could argue, or no, you would think, here, let me say it like this. You would think that Isagi and Kaiser kicking the ball at the same time would actually work, because they're both direct shot users. It's just that Kaiser Impact is a better direct shot. But, like, this really shouldn't work, because Rin shoots curves while Isagi is a direct shot kind of guy. So, if anything, it's gonna go, like, horrifically wrong. But let's see. Rin Itoshi, Yoichi Isagi, Baro Shohei. I almost called him Baro Kusei. I don't know where that came from. But Baro Shohei, Karasu, Tabito, and Shido Ryusei. There we go. Let's see. Oh, and Hugo. You're here too, buddy. Let's see. Ooh. Yo, have we not gotten a chapter named Destiny? Have we not? There's sometimes a chapter title will pop up, and I gotta sit back and be like, we haven't gotten that as a chapter title? And, like, don't get me wrong. One of my favorite things to do as a content creator is very specifically give my videos some of the most elaborate and weird and out there titles ever. Not even because it really suits people to click on them. Usually people will just click on something that says like bluelock something, and that's why I always put like the line dash at the end and then bluelock chapter 347 blah blah blah. But like one of my favorite things to do is to make some of the most crazy and elaborate and dumb stupid names. And hey, for a guy who's been reviewing bluelock for like 4 years now, haven't run out of names just yet. Though admittedly there's like a lot of motifs. Like you'll see the heroic demon king, you'll see the destroyer, like you'll see a lot of stuff like that. But I guess we gotta give my due respect and due glaze to kind of shows, I'd say, because if this really is the first time we've used Destiny, especially in such a man, Nomura said, hey, I may have gave you some half chapters the last 2 weeks, but let me lock in, Twinsky. This is gorgeous, and there we go. There's that just though. Funnily enough, I'd say Isagi needed a bit more aura here to like further juxtapose it. But then again, I get this has so much going on. I get why Nomura may not want to overclutter it. But like, know how I talked about here, where like all the white surrounding Isagi paralleled him well, and Rin could have benefited from some more black here, like some of his aura popping off, because unlike Isagi, Rin is more his ego isn't as clear on his face, right? You could argue it's the veins, but like the destroyer and mutation parts of Rin's ego aren't well portrayed in his like super giga flow state, unless his aura is popping out of him. Meanwhile, Isagi, when he's in MUI Isagi mode, Mastered Ultra Isagi? Is that Master Ultra Instinct, Master Ultra Isagi? When he's Master Ultra Isagi, he has the puzzle pieces literally built into his facial design. So here, we see Rin keeping up with the black motif, and very specifically the deep black hair, the black skeleton, and all that. But also, his aura is popping out of him in a very cool, explosive way. Very top-heavy, though. Very top-heavy. You think a little bit more of it would be coming out of his legs. But at the same time, you can see that the two are perfectly showing off each other here as opposites as well, with their legs, with their arms throwing in over each other and arms being thrown back. And on top of that, I think the interesting thing here is the idea that Isagi is using his weak foot, right? So he was able to make contact at the same time as Rin, but Rin is using his dominant foot. So the aura behind this ball is all over the place. It's probably gonna whip, but this is a gorgeous panel. Like, genuinely, I'm not even seeing it in the highest quality right now just because I'm probably gotta record. But regardless, Nomura, you're just a monster, a beast, a creature, an animal. But let's see. And they both come. Ooh, and they even. I don't even think this happened when. I'd have to double check though. When Kaiser and Isagi kicked the ball together, but their feet actually touch. Hey yo, but they actually do go. I'm not gonna make that joke. I'm not against my internal lawyer was like, don't do it. So we're not gonna do it. We're gonna trust the internal lawyer. But these two actually clashing being in this way, crazy. And as a lot of people pointed out, this is very specifically the idea. This is egoism at its peak, but egoism at its peak is probably going to fail. But let's see. Chapter 347, Destiny. They both hit, they both swing. Look at all that. Ooh, I love the way the force of the impact being disrupted as electrical energy, the cross between the white and black creating this gray lightning. Ooh, oh, it's good. Let's see. Don't my perspective was a little bit off here. No, I was about to say, is my perspective off here, or is this just like an art mistake? I think it's just an art mistake, not like necessarily a bad one. Note how here Shido and Karasu are positioned here, like behind Isagi and Rin as they're going in for this dual kick, and Hugo's right here, which also I don't think makes sense. Actually, no, that does, because Hugo was behind them. So, like, yeah, this makes sense. Hugo's position here makes sense. But here, you can see Shido and Karasu, and I think Bats, they're behind. And then Baro is ahead. So from this perspective, Shido and Bats, or whoever this guy is, they shouldn't be here. They shouldn't be here. Though it does add to a cool framing of the dual side. So I'll let it slide. But position-wise, these two should not be here. But, alright, ball goes past. Renoir. Oh, it looks like it's on target. Wait! Oh, but look at what I noted here, right? Isagi, who has a propensity for direct shots, even when using his weak foot, the ball goes straight, but because of Rin's tendency to aim for that upper right section of the goal, the ball is still going in that upper right hand direction. Upper right hand from their side, obviously it's up to the left for Renoir. Let's see. Renoir lunges in, ball whiffs. Does that make sense? I'm glad. You know, literally, it's funny. I didn't realize I did this until I was like editing a couple videos. Whenever I begin to go so deep into the glaze, I then start to counterbalance and like try to find minor little art inconsistencies and stuff, because I be glazing a lot. Shock horror. If I'm covering something on the channel, I like it a lot, and I'm gonna glaze the art a lot because I'm an artist guy myself, right? I'm gonna glaze. But as a byproduct, part of me wants to say this doesn't make sense because Renoir is literally right outside the goal, and he's level here, right? Like let's look at the let's put ourselves in the 3D space, right? Let's manifest this 2D into 3D in our minds here. If the ball is this low, right? when Wenrar goes to stop it, and it whiffs past his hand at this level, beneath his head, mind you. That means the ball is here. The ball is here because Renoir is here. So most of the ball is here. It's not spiking that much in like the less than 10 centimeters it has here. That doesn't make sense. If anything, the ball should have been drawn a bit higher here, but hey, they missed. Good. I'm not just gonna be like, oh, the art doesn't exactly line up with what's being portrayed here. Like twice over with shooters positioning it out where the ball is going. They whiffed though. And funnily enough, it is very akin to the whip. Actually, no. Hold on. In fact, I'm literally gonna. I said I didn't remember the Kaiser goal, but I can do this. Hold on. I'm about to go back in time. I believe this is very reminiscent of the whiff that Rin had in 145. Did I pop it correctly? No. Okay, not exactly. But this wouldn't be the first time that Rin, in a crazy destructive flow state, does get a shot off and it just hits the side. Obviously, though, what's his name? I don't remember his name, and I'm not going to bother. But he does knock it into the side post here. So there is that. But in this case, Renoir didn't even have to touch it. They just whiffed together. Because once again, it is a mix of their two shot styles. Rin's propensity to go for the upper right, Isagi's propensity to shoot straight. Probably, if I were drawing this, and specifically like the trail it's going on here, one, I just wouldn't have the ball here. I'd probably put the ball like above here. You'd have to just redraw this entire little section panel here. But also, you can just see where the ball is supposed to end up. It's supposed to end up in the upper right hand based on Rin, but because Isagi has a direct shot style, and Isagi's direct shots typically are like either straight or they do have an upwards curve to them. Yeah, Rin, who goes for the upper right with Isagi, combining that with Isagi, does cause it to clonk off the top. So, makes sense. Let's see. Yo, you want to know what the crazy thing is here, though? This literally just hit me in the moment. You want to know what the crazy thing is here? I mean, I get why Isagi. Well, no, and in fairness, in order to tie the game, this is Isagi, unfortunately, giving into egoism a little bit too much here. It'd be like, what are you talking about? It was literally his goal. Yeah, but think about it like this. No one was ready for Rin. Not even Isagi. But once Isagi realized Rin was here, if he was truly focused on victory, right? If he was truly focused on winning by any means necessary, something he's quote unquote said he's willing to do over and over and over again, he would have turned, he would have pivoted, and he would have stopped. He would have canceled out. He would have hit the hard stop on his own goal. He would have been like, hey, we need to win, and then just let it rock. It is his arrogance here. It is his absolute individuality, his egoism that sold him the game. And now, obviously, it's Rin's fault, right? Like if we're gonna blame one of these two shocked individuals who just went back to base, like it's Rin's fault. He shouldn't have been there. He shouldn't have done that. Rin was right, but in them, I cannot put the blame entirely on Rin for the fact that Isagi could have considered an alternative. Isagi could have to be fair, it would have been a split-second decision, right? It would have been a wait a second, and it would have been almost like, have you ever fallen with something in your hands and in that half a second before you hit the ground, you need to pick on whether or not you're preserving what's in your hands and or face planting? I do mean and or. Sometimes you're going to preserve something in your hand and face plant anyway. That's what Isagi had. He could have had a moment of rationalization here, especially Mr. Rational Logic guy, even if he did say, I'm going to put it all on luck. And I'm glad I wasn't alone. All right, everyone. I was, especially when I was editing last week's review, I was like, people are not going to like me talk about how weird it is that luck is being rationalized in this context here. Like, people are really not gonna like. But no, there were some people who disagree with me. But there were also a good chunk of people who were like, yeah, it's weird, specifically in Bluelock and like real life and how it's characterized. Luck does not work in the way they Isagi was trying to make it work last chapter. But there was some interesting rationalizations around it. Like, technically, Isagi's referring to luck and like just the general, like, the more, like, even a more abstract concept of luck. Like, when we talk about luck, we talk about the ability. We're talking about luck in combination with an individual, right? The ability to use one's existing skills and talents in a moment of unexpected favor to do something greater. But Isagi, as the last solution I saw it, and not just in my own comment section, but elsewhere, was the idea that Isagi was referring to luck as in like just the phenomena entirely isolated from anything else. That's how he was referring to it. And that's why he said in this battle of luck, like, but funnily enough, the only reason I'm still not fully down with that rationalization is because Isagi was directly involved in that. Like, he was involved in the 50-50. Like, brother, you can't say this entirely. But regardless, all that being the case, Isagi in that moment could have chosen to concede the goal to Rin in order to tie this game. Now, admittedly, we still have a good chunk of chapter left, so maybe they, I doubt they're gonna do something, but let's see. I do love that though. They're so locked in, they're so intense, and they immediately go back to base once they realize they whiffed. Let's see. Oh, is it that time? Is it that time? Karasu, Shido, Baro, Random, and Loki. You know what though? That's interesting. That's actually very interesting. Obviously, I don't exactly remember where Loki was positionally relative to Kaiser and Isagi and Hugo in the whole matchup, but and I know people. Funny enough though, I've seen that it has been right. There's been very few people, and by very few I mean like I think I've seen like three people like in this combination of people I've seen in my own comment section, just like looking around the community. There have been as net like 3 people defending Loki's performance in this game, right? And very specifically his narrative portrayal in this game. And even then, the people I've seen defending it have had to go with the narrative caveat of like, oh, well, yeah, sweat scaling and plus Hugo game. And like, yeah, all that's true. It's not wrong. But yeah, Loki definitely has been a strange character. And this is another way he's strange. Remember how he reacted to the Kaiser Impact Magnus? Brody was outside the box and still sprinted down in reaction time to block it. But no, like I said earlier, if Isagi in that moment had rationalized a tie, because it would have been victory. This is the last play. It would have been a tie, but still, if Isagi had rationalized a tie here, they would have scored. If Rin wasn't there or rationalized a tie, which obviously it's Rin, I'm not expecting him to be too rational when he's in destroyer mode, which actually happens. They would have tied. Loki couldn't have stopped anything. Because he's only reacting now. He's reacting to the second ball. And that feels like a little bit of a downgrade. I will say, we can definitely excuse it a bit, though, for my Loki defenders out there. Hey, I want to be a Loki defender, but man, I've seen too much Black Scholar and too much flow from this man. I don't care if he's going to drop a sweat. I've seen too much. But regardless, I will rationalize this under the notion that Kaiser Impact Magnus is intentionally slower. It still abuses the max shot speed and creates the whole win thing, but because it is curving, like Loki would have more time to react. And on top of that, it wasn't an active play, it was a free kick that Loki was responding to. So like there is that. But let's see. Loki, Godspeeding it. Let's take a look. Ooh, interesting. So Kunigami almost intercepted it, but whiffed. And Loki catches the ball before it even hits the ground. All right. Or he chops the ball. All right, Otoya. And see, there it is. And let me say this. Am I gonna sit here and say Loki going in the flow doesn't look cool? No, because that'd be a stone cold certified licensed and registered liar. It does look cool. But man, does it not feel appropriate? Man, like, I don't know. I feel like he hasn't sweat at all. I don't know. I'm like, there are 2 wolves fighting inside me. It's the sweat skilling wolf and it's the not sweat skilling wolf. Like, I don't know, man. I don't know. I'm not gonna make because I already just recently made my thoughts on the performance of the game, and I presume he's gonna score right now, right? He's not gonna score. I'm probably gonna make it a 4-2. Whatever, that's fine. But even with that, I don't know, man. Loki, he just man. You want to talk about a portrayal fault, like, and still, here's the thing. Even with them losing 4-2, which is I presume is about to happen, and I'll go into it a little bit more towards the end if they do lose 4-2. This is still like I'm really that internal conflict better go crazy, dog, because I'm really gonna fail to believe how they're going to struggle, right? And and the thing that gets me, I fail to believe how they're going to struggle that much with anybody else especially since they don't even have Sei yet. They're still working with Sei Light, because obviously they're making it out of the group stage. But like, once we have Sei, it's wraps. And you may be like, what about Nagi? Nagi too, for sure, whatever. Or Kira as well, whatever. It's mainly Sei. It's mainly Sei. Let's see. Bye bye, Blue Lock. Okay, Black Scalera. I can't tell if those are flow eyes though. Just maybe Black Scalera. Let's see. Oh, and I do. I mean, I'm assuming it's probably just a blur effect, but I do love the way that Loki's speed is being portrayed. The way that, an interesting pathway he takes too. Instead of just bursting down past Otoy, he kind of schmixes him a little bit. He crosses him, gets past him, zips all the way over, hits Aryu with the 50-50, breaks past him too. All right. And Isagi's still in the falling motion. Let's see. No, I drew Hugo into a battle of luck, and I beat him one-on-one. Yeah, one time. Isagi, you remember that thing about irreproducible goals? Remember how that whole thing of, like, that Ego's main philosophy, something that you were trying to dive into as a part? It's like, hey, you should rely on one-off instances. Huh? Like luck? You should be able to take advantage of luck and know that luck exists, but you shouldn't rely on it fully to beat one person. Remember all those lessons, Isagi, that you learned in, like, second selection? By end of that? Let's see. Realistically, by end of first. Let's see. I beat him one-on-one, and yet Rin showed up at the last second and messed up my shot's impact. Yes. But, and once again, I know. And it is me, the guy who loves to make his main character, like I don't know, I love when my main character suffer and fail. But in that case, I know it's me, like, hyper piling on Isagi, but I do still say, I still do stand by what I said here, where I do think Isagi had enough, it wasn't much time, but had enough time to rationalize a tie. He could have, admittedly, that would have given Hudo a pseudo victory over him, in the sense of like, oh, you decided to be number 2 in that moment, to give up to a number 1, a superior striker, and score. So I suppose my philosophy is right. But then Hugo would have actually lost not just the luck battle, which is something realistically you shouldn't have been relying on in the first place, but also he would have lost victory. Not in the sense that he would have lost the game, but you would have tied. So, yeah, so you've lost absolutely. Congratulations, buddy. You won the battle, but you genuinely lost the war. Let's see. Messed up my shot's impact. Is that all you have to say, Rin? You do nothing all game and you fumble the final goal, and that's all you have to say? Let's see. If Rin hadn't been there, it would have been my goal, but you should have accounted for it. And I still stand by that. I made that comment last chapter. And I'm gonna say it again. You should have accounted for it. That's insane that you didn't. I was out here pushing. You were like giga super mega sloppy toppy noppy joppy. I ran out of words, bro. But like, I thought you were out here giga brain throbbing and predicting Rin to be there in the first place, but you didn't. Like, I get it. Rin went ghost the entire game. He was Danny Phantom. It's Oshi Phantom. But, brother, you should have been prepared for that. You should have known. You know Rin. Like, he is the guy you do think of. You should know. Like, once again, I don't know. I'm gonna make, even if I'm not gonna make a my thoughts video on specifically Loki's performance, I'm probably gonna make a my thoughts video on Isagi's performance in the game. Rin's not so much. You know how I feel about Rin. Went ghost and then messed up everything at the end. But very specifically, I'm going to make my thoughts on the writing of this game. Because I'm not really feeling it. But let's see. Would have been my goal if Rin hadn't been there. You're all strikers. Keep trying for your own goals until the very last second. Very true. Yep. Egoism. Yep. Huh? According to that Haiku, bro. Haiku, it's never... Haiku, I'm sorry, man. I remember you were a major antagonist, bro. I'm sorry, Haiku. You're fodder now. To be fair, he's up against Loki. Let's see. But according to that philosophy, Rin was correct in trying to score a goal. But if that ends up being why we lose, then Iko-san's theory... And you know what, though? And this is where I will say... Isagi really wasn't a catch-22, right? As much as I'm pushing this idea that Isagi, 1, should have accounted for Rin, and 2, if he had accounted for Rin, or even if he didn't account for Rin, right? Let's say we stick to the current timeline. Isagi didn't account for Rin, he just completely gave up on him and thought, oh, he's gone ghost, he's gonna stay a phantom. Even if he had made that split-second rationalization in the moment of like, oh, if I hit this ball with Rin, we're screwed. he still would have been giving Hugo an ideological win. I talked about that a little bit earlier. But in a way, Isagi can he could have still. This is like going into levels upon levels of like rationalization of theory versus actualization, stuff like that. But he could have still justified that. Like say Hugo came up to him afterwards and was like, "Look at you, becoming a number 2, conceding yourself to a greater number 1 striker." And Isagi could have been like, "No, that's my goal. I just made it for him." It's like, it is that idea of you can't, like, to a certain point, you still own and control something even when it does something autonomously, right? Isagi, even if it wasn't true, right? Like, he could just straight lie to Hugo's face. What's Hugo gonna do? He could straight lie to Hugo's face and be like, "No, I knew Rin was going to be there. I did all of that to have the," like, it'd be very Manshine-esque, but very appropriate in terms of, like, that Yuki Miya goal is Isagi's goal. Not just since he got the assist, but, like, he perfectly built, gaslit, gate-kept, and girl-bossed Yuki Miya to be in that position at that moment to score his goal for him. That, in my opinion, is still a perfect example of egotism. Doing everything for oneself to elevate oneself. But once again, that's my interpretation of egoism, not necessarily just a pure striker thing that the narrative seems to be actualizing egoism around right now. But at the same time, you could make an argument for suitable destiny again. But I think the parity of the two ideologies could be pressed in either way if Isagi had made that choice. But I could still see Hugo taking it in more so his direction and call Isagi a coper. But then Hugo couldn't argue with the fact that the game is tied, right? You're supposedly the strongest team in the U20, and you tied to some mixed bums. You're frauds. But now, presumably, Isagi's like, it's like, I'm sorry, Gagamar, I don't trust you in a 1v1 with Loki. But in that case, that you just lost everything. You won the battle, but you lost the war. Let's see. Why we lose? Then Ego-san's theory and bluelock itself failed? Darn. So he trapped it up. He tapped it up and then did it off a volley. And there we go, goal. Yeah, and technically, the current, and I don't know, and this is once again why I need to talk about the game's writing as a whole and why I feel very mixed on it. I feel like I can't be tweaking. Maybe I am though, and let me know in the comments if I'm tweaking. Egoism wasn't all about being strikers scoring for your own goals. Egoism was be the best version of you in that moment and actualize it completely, no matter what. And if you happen to score a goal, even if you weren't a striker, good stuff. That's how I've always interpreted it. And that's how I thought Ego interpreted it, mainly because of how he positioned certain players. Obviously, in my heart of hearts, in the back of my mind, I'm assuming Gagamaru's going to get a goal somehow, somewhere, some way, even though he's a goalie. Not only because goalies have scored in real life, but also egoism. But same case for like a Nico, same case for an Aiku, same case for maybe RU. But like, I believe all those heroes will still end up somehow getting a goal somewhere. But in that case, that would require egoism as the multifaceted philosophy, not just based on strikers. Like, are we really going to say that Kakamaru's not an egotist? Are we really going to say that Aiku's not an egotist? Are you? Nico? Bachira? Reo? Like, we're going to say none of these characters who aren't explicitly strikers aren't egotists? No, right? They're still all egotists. So, I don't know. I really... Egoism and bluelock and how it's been defined, I get bluelock in terms of the base concept of creating the strongest striker. Yeah. But bluelock and egoism as the concept, I feel like has been warped into a different meaning for this game, so it can better parallel and go up against suitable destiny. But I'm not sure how much I like that. Like, I'll say this. Even with this goal here, and, you know, France went in a completely different direction than I was expecting. That's a good thing. I like when I can't predict things. However, the way that France has ended up isn't perfect. It isn't delicioso. It isn't scrumdiddlyumptious. I'm not eating this up. This is definitely this is not going down as one of my favorite games in the series. Like, I don't even think this is going to be, as much as I do like Hugo and his performance in the game and his dynamic with Isagi, this probably ain't even hitting my top 5. nowhere near top 3. Nah, I'd have to go through and review every single game, but like this it has too much weird writing stuff. It has too much weird negative narrative implications. It has too much stuff that I just not even. And once again, maybe with time, as with everything, I will grow softer on it, but not something I'm vibing, not something that I'm vibing and rocking with as much as I could. Goal! Julian Loki broke past 6 players in a mega counter to score the 4th point for France's Kings and end the game. Let's see. I don't believe it. And now that was a pitiless game-ending whistle. Surpassing all of Blue Locker's strikers, is there anyone closer to being the world's best than Loki the Prodigy? No. But at the same time, man, Loki, you just don't hit the same, man. You just don't hit the same, man. I don't know, man. I miss World 5 Loki, bro. I miss Neo Egoist League Loki. That was barely a year ago. That was a year and a half ago, bro. I miss that Loki. I miss the Loki who felt like a god. Now he's just some fast guy with legs. He's alright. Let's see. With a score of 2-4 in Japan versus France, Blue Lock Japan has lost. Omri looking shattered. Ego, shockingly chill, but at the same, like, and to be fair, this goes back to all the way back to what I was talking about well before this game even started. They didn't have to win this game. This game, while important for the character development and dynamic development of everyone Blue Lock, like, they didn't have to win this game at all. They're fine. And with how extreme if they win against England, or when they win against France, they're gonna fry England. It may take a little bit. They're gonna fry England, but in that same case, yeah, it still hurts. Yeah, I don't know. I can't buy it, Loki. I'm gonna voice at you, bro, but I don't buy it, brother. I don't buy it. One brother, two. I don't buy it, brother. Boring. Glad that's over. Guess the popular Blue Lock wasn't all it's cracked up to be. Well, I guess I did get a little tingly. Loki, I can't even count the amount of times you either went into flow or you popped out Black Skelera. And, okay, to be fair, I need to combine some things. The amount of times Loki got fried, locked down, Black Skelera, and or Sparkling Eye / Flow. I can't count it on 2 hands. In this game that was supposedly so boring, I got you a little bit tingly. I'm sorry, bro. You were liable to lose to a team that wasn't even functioning properly. I'm sorry, Loki. And I guess Charles literally never gave Loki a pass this game, so you okay? What's up? Yeah. As a team full of strikers, they refuted their own philosophy and failed. A group of egotists whose destiny is to never reach the World Cup, and more suitable to scatter to the winds with their objective unfulfilled. So long, Blue Lock. You are cogs in my destiny, and we won't meet again. See, like, I'm sorry, Hugo. I'll give you this. You're not a single sweat drop. Cool story, bro. I saw you go into flow. I saw you lose. I saw you, like brother. Unfortunately, this wasn't a load. Unfortunately, this wasn't a load. This was not the inverse of Nigeria that a lot of us were expecting. This is not. Hugo, Loki, like, and once again, this is one of those cases. Though, admittedly, I see Sagi trying to clap back, but this is one of those cases where I swear Nomura. Well, not necessarily. I'm not gonna blame Nomura. He draws. He doesn't write. So, but I swear, Kanashiro Sensei's trying to. No, everyone knows fundamental narrative rules: show, don't tell. But this genuinely feels like Kanashiro Sensei telling me. Yeah. France is a super crazy, untouchable thing. Yeah. France is these monsters, these beasts, crazy. Yeah. This is the third. But I'm sorry. You've shown me too much evidence to the contrary. I've seen these people try too hard. I've seen these people fail too. Like, I'm sorry. I don't care that they won by 2. They won by 2 after almost tying to these people they should have thoughtarized as the best team in the world. Your path shall never meet again. Dog. They did better against you than England did. They at least got 2 goals. 2 of which that you couldn't even answer for. After they stole your philosophy on the fly. I'm sorry, France. I'm not saying you're frauds. But you're frauds to what you were set up to be. You do not live up to expectations, unfortunately. Let's see. So long, my left big toe. My luck. But see, like, Isagi, hop off Luck's tip, bro. Hop off Luck's tip. Stop gargling on it, bro. Stop gargling. Hop off Luck's tip. Let's see. My luck obliterated your precious theory. No, it didn't. Not really. Not really. Let's see. And you know it too. It wasn't just bluelock that failed. Your suitable destiny theory is full of nonsense too. But you talk about humanity's legends or winning the World Cup 4 times. Don't run from your destiny. You lost to me. You second best feat. But you lost. But like, I'm sorry, man. Battle versus war, you did lose the war. You did lose the war entirely. And in terms of which came out better, and this is something I may have to, I'm probably going to make a separate video on. Man, I'm going to make some of my thoughts about bluelock. That's crazy. But suitable destiny versus egotism. Egoism, egotism, whichever we're going to call it. Which one came out looking better by the end of this game? I'm going to say I'll give it to Suitable Destiny. I'll give it to Suitable Destiny. Mainly because the only 2 goals that Japan scored were because of Suitable Destiny. All 4 goals that were scored by France were also by Suitable Destiny. There isn't a single purely egotist goal in this game. Charles was a piece of Hugo's plan, so Suitable Destiny. Hugo was obviously a piece of Hugo's plan, Suitable Destiny. Loki was a piece of Hugo's plan, Suitable Destiny. And Loki, once again, a part of Hugo's plan, Suitable Destiny. Karasu first goal, Suitable Destiny. Karasu second goal, even with Baro's egotism playing a part of it, he only got that because of the Suitable Destiny that Karasu had adopted. Everything in this game is Suitable Destiny. So Suitable Destiny did get a massive slop off. It did win. So yeah, I'm sorry, Isagi. You lost. You won 1 battle after losing how many more? This is genuinely, unironically, this is genuinely like your boy hopping off the sticks after you beat him 1 time. Because he's like, well, shoot, I don't play with losers. After you've beaten the teeth out of him for an hour. That's what Isagi's doing right now. I'm sorry, Isagi. I see your cool hype aura moment, and I raise you. You lost. You failed. I raised you that. Let's see. U20 World Cup Group League Match 3. Japan versus France. France wins 2-4. You're a real pain. Until next time, egotist. Okay, so yeah. So as much as I'm like ragging on Isagi, Hugo is still giving him his due respect. He tried to walk it off and say, no, your fault, your buns, your cheeks. But no, absolutely. Hugo knows that, like, yeah, technically, Egoism did put up a pretty decent fight, but I'm gonna still say it's a W chapter. Like I said, I do have a lot of, but that's a France game as a whole versus this individual chapter kind of thing. I'm not gonna drag this individual chapter down because of it. I still think this is a solid chapter. Right off the top of the dome piece, though, just to give like a preview of my thoughts, like you know it's coming out now. I think I'm gonna give the France game as a whole like a 6 out of 10, which isn't bad. Well, it's still technically a failing grade, but like it isn't bad. But I'm gonna give it a 6 out of 10. There are a lot of aspects I like about the France game, but there's so many aspects that I don't because of their impacts on the wider narrative. Even just some of their impacts in the France game itself and how it deals with like characterization and writing and what it tackles the theme, what it reduces egotism down to is a fly. What it reduces egotism down to. Come and die. Oh, wow. Just accepted your fate, huh? Thank you, brother. But, like, there's so many different pieces of it that I'm not necessarily the biggest fan of. I'm not going to talk about it all in depth. But if you enjoyed this video, please do me a favor and leave, until next time, in the comment section down below. I want to thank you so much for watching. Please remember to leave a like, share, comment, and subscribe. Make sure that little notification so you don't miss out on any videos that come to the channel. Also going to have a page down below. Use more me for as well as one a month. Get things like exclusive videos, the content, and more. Also now become a member of the channel for as low as $3 a month to get the same perks and more. Social first include the live reactions, so this is to review, ad reactions of all my videos, early ad reactions of all my videos, early ad reactions, not just all my videos on the main channel, but all my videos on the second channel. That got the reaction. Link in the description down below. On the link to my Twitch, right here every Friday, 8 p.m. East Sizzle, and a link to my Ko-Fi, where you can drop 5 minutes for a short video, 20 minutes for a long video, or any means at all. Any support is always greatly appreciated. Now I want to thank you so much for watching once again, and I hope you guys have a wonderful day. This is That Got the Pencil, writing off. I'd like to give a thank you to our sketch tier members: Eternal Flame, Redwolf 4765, Astro, Glacier XZ, Zera, J2MA, Buddha Ura, Yuki Ally, Grim, Ollie, Corey Watson, Damon Brown, Tim Thomas, Kaving, RXN, Dead Meme, Kian Stewart, Edwin Igbinoba, Straw, Antavius Mitchell, Super Flame Zero, Weary Exile, Alex Kenny, Todd, The Practical One, Landon Clapwick, Heath Nelson, CAET, Plant Crone, Brandon Payne, Multi-Batman Superman, Zalim, Sleepin' John, The Young Family, Pastel Pandora, Mo City King DKG, Akolade Babatunde, Union Eye, Athenzi Shear, Sino King, CCC, Enzo, Kitty Liddy, Axis XC, Praise the Sun, Magic, Andrine Bonnet, Donovan McIntosh, at JDog2656, Aswin Hedi Placentia, Sheesh King, Yo Extras, AZ Void, Professor Von Tuck III, Nevies97, and Black Sage. Then I'd even thank you to our line art tier patrons: Dread Zoen, Kevin Encarnacion, Lucas Stace, Midnight Lord 21, and Sean. Then I'd like to give a thank you to our ink tier member, Shrimpo the Fourth Shrimp 06. And I'd like to give a thank you to our digital art tier member, J Warrior. Then I'd like to give a thank you to our colored art tier patrons, Walkie Munoz and Walkie Munoz.